So
Perfect.
welcome, Jacob and Ryan, to our meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
You're
James.
welcome.
So it's very nice to see you. So how's your week been?
It's going good, busy,
Yeah,
stressful, but all
def-
good.
definitely. How have you been doing during the lockdown? Been okay?
Just trying to adjust because we're doing everything online, as you can see, and it's a whole different dynamic. But it's becoming more the norm now, so we're adjusting nicely.
Perfect. So my name is Jacob DeCarlis,
Welcome.
and joined with me is Ryan Golly. So we are from Harmony Enterprises. So
Mm-hmm.
we understand that malls are always evolving, with
Mm-hmm.
new stores being introduced and old ones that are outperforming being dismissed. One thing that has never changed, however, is garbage disposal. So we have a product that finally offers innovation to the waste disposal category. We
Mm-hmm.
believe that you are a good fit for what we have to offer, but we have a few questions to clarify our current solution. So, James, can I ask you a couple things?
Sure.
Perfect. So, do you have a strategy currently in place for handling trash in the mall?
Well, we have containers here at the mall. We have cleaners that go and collect them,
Okay.
and that's how it works. So there's recyclables, waste, and recyclables.
Okay. And is there a reason that you went with this strategy? That
Well,
you feel?
probably 5 or 7 years ago, we switched everything to recycling. So the majority of what we collect are recyclables, and the portion of garbage has really diminished. So the whole strategy was to reduce the amount of waste going to landfill and reduce our costs.
Okay, definitely, definitely. So would you say that that cleanliness is an important part of your business, and
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
sanitary and everything like that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, so allow me to jump in here. So, how long does it take roughly for your employees to deal with trash in your communal areas, and how often is it done on a day-to-day basis?
We usually empty them about 4 times a day.
Okay.
So roughly every 3 hours, three times a day minimum, but it's usually four over a 12-hour period.
hmm So, I'd imagine you're spending quite a bit of money just on employees whose sole purpose or main purpose is dealing with trash. Then.
Yeah, the labor is the main component. Yeah,
Okay, I
and
see.
then obviously we got to dispose it, so we pay for disposal fees for the recycling as well as for the garbage. But some of the recyclables, especially the paper, we sell it, so we're making money on it.
Oh, I
Oh,
see. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's clever. Okay, and just how do you think it looks to customers when they see and smell the trash being taken out, especially if it's, 3 or 4 times a day?
Um, how do they see it? I don't know. We try to be clean. We try to do it in a way that is not taking them away from, like, in other words, we don't want to create a distraction.
hmm
Most of the waste that we take away, or the bulk of the waste, is around the food court. So we avoid um, when we have high peak traffic, like lunch and all that. So that's why we would go before lunch, empty it out, and then around 1:30, 2 o'clock, when things slow down again, we empty it out because it gets full quite quickly. But we don't want to empty trash while they're eating, or the majority of people are, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I would expect that you would do whatever you can to avoid
Yeah.
such awkward circumstances.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, in peak hours, especially during the lunch hour, you've got not only a ton of customers filling up the food court, but we've also got employees as well. So there might be, I'd imagine there are circumstances where the receptacles overflow and you have no choice but to do it in the middle of the
Yeah.
hour. So in general, overall, are you satisfied with your current trash receptacles and the system you have in place, or do you envision a way it could be improved?
Well, it's working. It's doing the job, but we as an enterprise would like to see some improvement there. Um, and we're always looking for ways that we could be more efficient because it is costing us a lot of money running around collecting, disposing, packaging, all of that, right?
hmm
definitely.
So we're open to ideas. I don't know if you have any better system than the one we have, but ours is pretty straightforward. It's recyclables and waste and
Yeah,
some organics, like food, and we collect
definitely.
them separately. And then the recyclables, we give them to one company and they give us rebates. The waste goes to another recyclable company that sends it off to farmers, and then the waste goes to a garbage company.
Okay, perfect. So James, I know a little bit earlier you also brought up the problem that you wanted to reduce the landfills,
Mm-hmm.
just the amount of trash that you have going to the landfills. Can you expand a little bit more on that for me?
Well, when we send garbage to landfill, it's the
Yeah.
most costly way of getting rid of waste compared to recyclables or the organics. So there's two things. One is we want to reduce costs, and the other thing, more importantly, is we want to be environmentally friendly. So the
Okay.
more we
Okay.
could divert out of the landfill, the better.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I see. Would you say that the environmental sustainability is central to your philosophy as a business?
very much so. It's a cornerstone.
I see. Okay. Well, that's respectable, and it is becoming more the norm for good reason, not just for the economic side, but for the just the overall responsibility aspect.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
respectable. Now, what would you say if you had to estimate is the productivity cost of employees spending time taking up the trash?
Well, I could tell you we're spending about now they're not just taking out trash, they're actually cleaning the facilities and all that. But I'd
Of
say
course,
about
yeah.
30% of their time is disposing trash. So that would work out to about, about 4 or 5 thousand a month.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
somewhat in line with what we had projected
mhm.
when
Hmm.
assessing like the amount of employees you have, estimating their wages, etc.
Yeah.
Now, would saving that 30% benefit your business in an impactful way?
Well, I took 30% of the total cost of cleaning, and 30% will represent getting rid of the disposable waste. So there's two components. One is labor, that's 30% of
Yeah.
the total. And then there's the cost of disposal, right? The companies that we pay
Yeah.
to pick up and take away. So yeah, any reduction would help
Okay.
Okay, I would imagine so.
as long as I don't compromise on cleanliness.
Of
Yep.
Of
course.
course, and you should
Yep.
not, and we wouldn't expect you to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, how do you think the employee's job satisfaction is affected by routinely handling messy and overflowing garbage? I can imagine, or I can tell you from experience, working in restaurants, for example, it's not pretty, and is always the least favorite part of my duties.
Yeah, like a lot of the people that are doing this job, it's really entry level.
Mm,
Um, so it's not the job that they would choose, but it's a job that they would take on to get in and down the road move on to other things, right?
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, considering what we have to offer, I'm curious if a simpler and more efficient trash disposal method would make it easier for you to maintain not only a clean shopping area, but ensure customer and employee satisfaction while simultaneously reducing your garbage load.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if you got anything like that. Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, James. I'd like to thank you for all of that. I just wanted to confirm. So, what I'm understanding is that your biggest current issues are the cost, what it costs you to deal with this trash, and
Mm.
also the fact that you want to be more environmentally friendly. You want to reduce the amount of trash going to the landfill. Is this correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, James. So now that I have a clear understanding of your current situation, I think that I can speak for both James and I that we feel more than confident that we have a product that is a perfect fit for the Eaton Center.
Hmm.
So our product is called the smartpack. It is a mobile miniature trash compactor that replaces the traditional trash receptacles. It works in any sectors where there is public that has trash to dispose of. With gains in efficiency, it saves you time, which also saves you money on
Hmm.
supplies and both staff.
Hmm.
And also, it's environmentally friendly. I have a quick video to show you. It just shows a little bit about how it works, how you clean, everything like that, and also what it looks like.
If the unit is full, use both hands to manually turn the controls to the hand and up settings. This will raise the platen and lock it in the up position. Pull the full cube out of the chamber. Insert the empty cube with the strap facing outward. Close and lock the door. The Harmony Smart Pack comes standard with the portable wheeled waste cube with a convenient pull strap to make emptying the compactor quick and effortless. Tie the top of the bag prior to transporting. and wheel the full cube to your outdoor waste compactor or dumpster for disposal. Cleaning your smartpack is also simple and safe.
So, James, that being said, we have some features that would definitely be of interest to you. So first, the Smart Pack is insanely easy to use, both for customers and employees. It means that they are quickly able to replenish the Smart Pack, meaning it's going to save you money with less time spent with staff coming to refill and change out garbage bags. And it also means that you're going to have more time allotted to satisfying customers and cleaning throughout the mall.
Right. That's quite impressive. Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to show you the demonstration and really just give you the visual element here. I mean, it couldn't be possibly any simpler. It's safer too because than the traditional because you actually have a designated key, as you would have seen in the video for the staff to use. So it's secure. No children are going to get in it or anything like that. Simply opens up. You turn it off with a switch of a knob, and just switch out the garbage bins, and that's it.
Okay, that sounds really good. It looks a lot easier than what we have going on right now. What does it cost to buy these containers, these bins, this system?
So, James, how many were you thinking of purchasing?
Well, we'd be looking at about 21
Okay,
stations.
21. That's a pretty good number. Let me just read it down. So currently, each one of our units, Smart Pack unit, costs $5,000. But we also estimate that with your current staffing and supply situations, the ROI on a single unit would be around 8 months.
Okay, how do you get to 8 months when you invest $5,000?
So seeing as it would cut back on the cost of staffing and supplies, so everything that you have to bring, so the cost of bringing the truck in to remove the dumpsters, you wouldn't have to do that as often. Also, replacing trash bags as often, you wouldn't need to do that. And then also just the amount of staff that you would need. So within 8 months, the ROI would be, you'd be back at square one. It wouldn't cost you anything.
Okay, but if I take 5,000 divided by 8 months, that's about $600 roughly, a little over $600 a month.
Yeah.
So you're saying I'll be saving $600 a month, and that'll per bin,
Yeah.
right? But so the staff that I have, I'm paying the minimum wage. That's 600. That's about 20 hours. I don't know if they're going to save 20 hours, which is about 5 hours a week. I'd have to test that out.
Okay, I definitely understand that. So would you say is price something of a concern to you then?
Well, yeah, because 5,000 sounds like a lot, and if I have 21, that's 100,000, right?
Okay, definitely. Well, James, I'm happy to announce to you that we also have financing options. So instead of paying a lump sum, we could also split it up. We could do a financing option for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever works best for you. We're more than happy to work with you on that.
Okay. All right. So that's something to look at for sure.
Definitely. So that being said, James, do you have any other questions or concerns about everything that we have talked about so far?
Well, I just want to know what kind of warranty, what kind of backup do you have on this if something goes wrong? Because it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts here, right?
Yeah, that is an excellent question. I definitely understand how you feel. So we actually provide a lifetime warranty on our Smart Pack. A lot of other customers have felt that this is a really big selling point for them. They've found that they don't need to worry about things breaking down and having to pay to come in and fix them. So what we do is with our lifetime warranty, if anything were to go wrong, you call us, we send out a technician right away, comes to the location, fixes it for you.
Okay.
And no cost to you.
Right.
Now we have another feature as well that I think will address some of your concerns about how much money will actually be saved, just because it directly addresses the amount of labor required. And additionally, you'll never run into that scenario where you have to change the trash right in the middle of the food court. Possibly several bins or several receptacles during lunch hour. So it has built-in sanitizing features, which reduce odors and leaks. So in lower traffic areas, it can go unattended for up to a week without needing to be replenished. And to the innovative feature of, or the innovative aspect of the fact that it actually compacts the trash, you can go a full day without replacing the trash even once,
Hmm.
and that, in comparison to a traditional receptacle, which would be about the same size.
Right.
So the advantage there is, it only has to be emptied once a day, something roughly 8 to 10 times. It can store about 8 to 10 times that of a conventional bin. So naturally, your customers don't have to see or smell any disgusting trash, and which could, of course, lead to lost appetite and potentially lost sales.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, that sounds really good. That alone, just emptying it once a day versus 4 times a day would be a huge benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So also, James, just to add on to what my partner Ryan has said, I know you addressed the concern earlier about reducing the amount of garbage that you have going to the landfill and being more environmentally friendly.
Yep.
So considering that our trash compactor only has to be refilled every 8 to 10 times a traditional trash can would have to be emptied, it means that not only would you have less trips to the landfill, so less trucks coming to the mall to pick up the garbage, which means not as much pollutants when the trucks come, but also it takes up less room in the landfill. Since it's already compacted, it takes up, as you can tell, less room, and it's a lot more environmentally friendly for you.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's. Yeah, I think this would work really well in our facilities for sure.
Okay, perfect. So we also feel that right now is definitely the perfect time to place an order. Since the mall is currently closed due to the pandemic, if we were able to get in the units, we would able to be able, sorry, we're able to set them up right away, opposed to waiting until the mall is open and having to incorporate them when customers are walking around.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So how does it sound, James? How about we put you down for the 21 units? Is that okay?
Well, you know what? Why don't we order 5? Let's put it.
Okay.
Let's roll them out, and then I could stage them in.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
So, what about as in terms of the pricing options? Would you like to pay for the upfront, or would the financing option work better for you?
Right now, I think I rather just send me the invoice and I'll pay it in full.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
because we got some money in the budget, but not enough for 21. But at least it's a good start, right?
Yeah. So I'll put you down for 5 units at 5,000 each. I'll send you an invoice right your way.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good
No
work,
problem.
guys.
Perfect.
How do you think you did?
I felt like it
Yeah,
was
I
really
think.
good.
Yeah, I was ready. Like I was ready to have a little bit more final closes. Like we had a bunch prepared over here, depending on whether you brought up money issues or whether it was stalling. You need to talk to one of your partners or think about it overnight. Whether you're scared of the warranty, which you brought up, and how it performs, or like anything like that. We had everything prepared.
Good work.
And just in comparison to the mock role play, the one that we did like about a couple weeks ago. I remember we discussed this at length too. Your two of the central concerns you brought up were that we didn't dig deep enough, or really at all, when you had brought up certain concerns during the spin session. So this
Yeah.
time we tried to dig a little deeper and ask you about your environmental policies and
Yeah,
things.
having you expand on that.
And then the other thing was just having an actual demonstration prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, a visual element
Make
to
sure
it
you
as
cover
well.
those bases.
Good work, guys. And I'm glad you took those points and built on them. And the demo was great. Overall, I think it was great. The only thing that I would add is when you did the rate of return, you
Yeah,
got to
the
be
ROI.
the ROI. Just be careful with the terminology. So when you say 5,000, return on investment is usually a percentage. Like I'm spending 5,000, I'm getting back 10%, 20. What you're really
Okay.
talking about is payback, right? So payback period
Oh,
is 8 months. So in 8 months, the
definitely,
cost
definitely.
savings will equal to your investment. But you got to be
Yeah,
more prepared to show me how, because when I questioned it, you didn't
yeah,
really break it down. So you can
yeah.
say,
When you brought up the math, I wasn't prepared for that.
yeah. So that's minor, but it's important because when you make a statement like that, people go, well, how did you come to that 5,000? Like,
Yeah, definitely. In a real life scenario, they're
yeah,
gonna want you to prove it.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, 8 months is really short. People go, wow, I'm going to put 5 in and I'm going to make it back in 8 months. And after that, I keep the savings forever. So that's another thing
Yeah.
you can say, like over a 5-year period, imagine how much savings you're going to have after you
Yeah.
break even after 8 months. And then people go, oh my God, I got to get on this.
Yeah.
So creates a sense of urgency. Overall, extremely well done. Very impressed with you guys. You came back and you built from the midterm. I'm going to like, this is definitely a 95 percenter. So
Perfect. Thank
yeah,
Thank
good work. And I'll probably use this with your permission as a sample for others to watch in other courses down the road.
definitely.
Okay.
Oh, please do, yeah.
100%.
So thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Perfect.
you, sir.
And it's